Folks, we will call to order the March 3rd meeting of the City Planning Commission. If we could have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Weatherby.
Present.
Commissioner Taylor.
Present.
Commissioner Zeig.
Present.
Commissioner Jacobitz.
Present.
Commissioner Love.
Present.
Commissioner Johnson and Watson.
Are excused. They let us know they weren't going to be here. Okay. Next item on our agenda is consideration of the minutes from the March 3rd meeting. Commissioners, I presume you have gotten those. They didn't come out until late today, but if presume you have those and have had an opportunity to review them. Are there any additions or corrections to the March 3rd? I would note right off the bat that the date is wrong on them. Yeah.
What's wrong?
Right here, the.
February. These are the minutes.
It is correct. Okay, I'm sorry. My apologies.
Well, you know, I once said the same thing. I apologize to you.
Yep. Are there any additions or corrections to the February 3rd minutes?
Move to approve.
Support.
We have motion and support for approval of the minutes. All those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The February minutes are approved. Next item on our agenda is case number 2602, which is a site plan review and special land use request for a proposed drive-through restaurant at 1548 and 410 West Maumee Street. Is the applicant present? And if you are, sir, if you'd come forward to the podium, identify yourself and briefly tell us what it is you're proposing to do.
Sure. Good evening. My name is Mike McPherson. I'm with Atwell. We're the civil engineering consultant for McDonald's on the project. Appreciate your time tonight. We're proposing a new McDonald's with drive-through facility off of Maumee Avenue. The building is approximately 4,000 square feet. We have gone through a couple rounds of comments with the staff, and I've talked to the staff several times to make sure we try to hammer out kind of the details. But essentially, this is a site that is currently 2 parcels. We'd be buying both parcels, combining them into one. The 2 existing structures that are out there would be removed, and this will be a totally new building that is built. The access to the site would be reduced from the current 2 access points to just a single access point, and that is in coordination with MDOT. We would utilize city water and sanitary connections, which are available adjacent to the site. We would follow the county stormwater requirements and outlet appropriately per their standards. We have approximately 30 parking spaces proposed, which is in excess of the city requirement. We have tried to provide compliant landscaping, lighting, and those type of features as dictated in the city zoning ordinance. We have added a decent amount of landscaping on the north side of the site as well as the screening fence. Because understanding the north side is probably the most critical side. There is residential adjacent that direction, where the other 3 directions are other commercial uses. So we're trying to screen that as best as possible. We've added an additional 10 feet of buffer on that side as well than what's required. I guess with that, hopefully everybody's had a chance to kind of look at what was submitted in the package. This is just the layout plan that I've got down here. I see you guys have full sets of plans that I'm sure you've looked at as well. Happy to answer any questions that you might have tonight.
Commissioners, questions for Mr.
I
McPherson?
have a question. What sort of a fence are you proposing on the north side? Knowing that there's a residential neighborhood right there.
There'll be a 6-foot tall screen fence, meaning it'll be opaque. We would either propose a wood fence or a vinyl fence. I don't know if the city has a preference there, but it would be a screen fence of 6 feet that's either wood or vinyl.
Solid.
Solid. You would not, it would be opaque, right? You would not be able to see through it. Yes.
You alluded to having consulted with MDOT, Michigan Department of
Yes.
Transportation on
Yes.
this, and they're okay with the traffic patterns as proposed?
Yes, we've provided a traffic study to MDOT. We've coordinated the number of access points. We tried to get 2 access points. They've restricted us to 1, which is what's before you. And the particular location, which aligns with the driveway that's on the other side of the street. So this has been coordinated with MDOT. We will get the appropriate permits from them for work in their right of way. But we're confident that this will be approved.
I know that I suspect that the concerns of a lot of the folks here, as are mine, as to the traffic in this particular area, it's not a great location to start with. I mean, not that it's not a great location for your particular business, but that where Maple Avenue comes in there and the other businesses farther down the road, I fear has the potential for creating a fair amount of congestion there. But again, MDOT has looked at this.
They have. Yep. And like I say, we've prepared a traffic study and submitted it to them. We will be officially submitting for what's called a right-of-way permit, which is, has the specific geometrics of the driveway. It'll have anything we're doing in the right-of-way, including a couple of utility connections and things of that nature, that will go before MDOT for, their permit review and approval. But we have coordinated the location of the driveway, the number of driveways, and the traffic study with them at this point, and obviously would not move forward with any construction or anything else until we have a permit from them. So,
Mr. Black, has the city engineering department looked at this relative to traffic as well?
Yes, I believe that traffic study was shared with the engineering department so they could review it as well. And we had a Microsoft Teams virtual meeting with Atwell, as well as Sarah Richardson, who also represents McDonald's. She's with the planners that are working on it from their end. We met at pretty good length to discuss the concerns that engineering had, utilities, myself, as well as the fire department. So we did compile notes of concerns, and Atwell did a good job of answering those concerns. And I believe they're actually making a couple of minor adjustments based upon those.
correct. Yeah. Especially if there's a couple comments from the fire department that we are working into the plan and have no issue meeting the requests.
Commissioners, other questions for Mr. Pierce?
How many cars would you anticipate coming in and out of your restaurant every day? Any idea?
That's a good question. And honestly, I don't have that number off the top of my head. That is something that is in the traffic study. And I can, which has been provided to the city, but we can, follow up with that information. But those projections are in there, and that would be, so when a traffic study is done, right, that's the peak hour as well. So that would be the hour during the day where the most traffic demand to the site is anticipated. So it's looking at the worst kind of condition. So, and in that condition, the driveway does function appropriately.
So
per the
there's
study.
no anticipated, or there are no anticipated circumstances where the queue would be out into the road.
Correct. No, we've provided a significant stacking for the drive-through already. And there's a full bypass lane around the site and the drive-through as well. So nobody's going to get stuck where they're waiting for anybody else to try to get around. So
I drove through there this afternoon about 10 after 5. I live nearby, and I was talking to a neighbor of mine, and I was absolutely surprised that the traffic was backed up from 223 all the way back past your property to the liquor store I occasionally frequent. And well,
You're not alone.
well, that's where it stopped anyway, but I kept going. But anyway, and this is not an uncommon situation. And I mean, I'm quite frankly, I am concerned about the traffic situation.
Sure.
So when was your high traffic time?
So
What was your?
there'll be a chance for the
Yeah.
audience to address the
Yeah.
planning commission eventually.
But I am concerned also about the traffic. That's the first thing when I looked at it. It is a double drive-through, correct? There are 2 lanes of
Yeah.
drive-through
Yeah.
That's correct.
plus the.
Plus the
that
bypass, correct.
around it.
Yes.
And as you were just saying, it's often that I see that there's a line backed up from 223. And it seems to me that the times of those lines are when it might be your peak hour at McDonald's for having people come. So I was concerned about there being a backup onto the main roadway through there. And I wonder how much distance is there from the roadway to the beginning of your drive-through lines?
Virtually not.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what I
The
thought.
drive-through lines couldn't conceivably be backed up.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
Well,
there's actually quite a, I mean.
the
from where-
drive-through is on the backside.
Yeah, it's approximately, there's well over 100 feet of distance
From the
from
roadway to.
from the
where
roadway to
where
the
double
beginning,
Lines start.
right to the beginning of the drive-through lanes. Yes.
Other questions?
You know, we've provided for approximately 22 stacks in the actual drive-through itself already.
Waiting. for-
Correct. That would be in the drive-through,
Yeah.
up to that many would
Understood.
fit. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Yep. No problem. Thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address the planning commission on this particular matter? If so, if you would step to the podium, give us your name and address, and very briefly, if you would, we try to limit public comments to less than 3 minutes. So if
Okay,
you'd tell us what it is you'd like to say.
my name's Jacqueline Palmer. I own the Victorian that is adjacent to it. It's a bridal shop. And with that being said, it butts right up to my property, and I'm looking at the plans that were cited, and they are cutting into part of our drive. They are cutting into our sidewalk. I also am quite confused as to the use of this, if this goes forward, because that whole section is zoned as a B1 business, not B2. It's
Actually,
clearly states in our city rules what a B1 and 2 is, and a B2 is for drive-throughs that
Excuse me, ma'am, just to correct, this is zoned to B2.
all those businesses are B1. The corridor starts at the end of that. Did it get rezoned?
Yeah, the whole city was rezoned this last September.
Really? Because I've got this paper that I got from the city
Uh-huh.
in September that shows that it is a B1.
Well, it is now.
And how did we not get notified then?
There were 3 public meetings. There was notice in the newspaper. It was the fact that the entire city was being rezoned was well notified.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, then that brings up, we'll move along. The parking spots, the way that it is structured, that you have all of the drive-through, so all the sound and the lighting and the reverberation of sound is going to be across or next to my building and all of the residential behind. We already have the Little Caesars, that cacophone's off, and I can hear that sitting on my front porch. So I can only imagine what that fun zone of the McDonald's is going to bring to the neighborhood. 6 foot, I don't know if that's regulation, but 6 foot is not nearly tall enough for the amount of traffic and people that are going to be through there to keep privacy for those neighbors that live next door and behind.
So are we sure that fence is going up that way?
Yeah, it's a solid 6 foot fence as per.
Please address the planning.
Yeah, sorry. And also, he spoke about what is the time zone? What does he think is the peak time zone that that traffic is heavy all day? So I'm curious as to what the peak traffic pattern and time zone is for that area. Also on also if they're putting in, is there going to be sidewalks? Is there going to be pedestrian? There are no sidewalks through there. And with that, if sidewalks get put in, then are my taxes going to go up because McDonald's has moved in next door? And the maintenance and people walking through the property and hanging out or whatever may come. There's some concerns. So. Also, the last thing I have is the lighting. So has there been a lighting study done?
Yes, there is. It's
And
included.
it's gonna stay on the property?
Yes,
And how late are the hours for this McDonald's? I didn't hear anything said about that.
remains to be seen.
Huh,
Yet to be.
nice. Okay,
Can I ask you a question before you leave?
yeah, please.
Initially, you mentioned something about parking lot and your property.
Yes.
Would you tell me that again?
Yes, so there is one of the easements right now, I own half of that easement, and they have, on their site, they have decided that they will pave cut that and take that out. I have from the city if you'd like to look at it.
Okay, so
It's on there, yeah. So how do you unilaterally decide what's going to be done on my property without asking? I'm confused. I don't know. Does the city have the almighty power to be able to do that and say, this is going in, this can be done to your property, and now, boom, because we've made an improvement, we're going to increase your taxes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Someone else?
Evening, Chairman, Commissioners, Tim Alshouse, west side of Adrian, 175 Canterbury Street. Recently, I don't know, it was Zoning Planning Commission, you did a rezoning of a property down east on Maumee at University and Maumee in Madison. You turned it down because of it was spot zoning, but one of the concerns given by neighbors and this board was traffic. And that congestion of those three streets coming together, and neighbors commented on accidents. Any idea how many exit entry points are from Wesco going west to Wendy's onto Maumee?
quite a few.
34. 34 entry points. Have you ever tried to make a left-hand turn when you're on Maple to go east on Maumee when it's heavy traffic?
Mhm.
That's why I usually go down Mackenzie or Scott.
You have to pray.
You might as well go get a pizza at Little Caesars and wait. That's how long it's going to take you. I don't think there could be, from the west side of Adrian, this could be a worse property to put this McDonald's at. As you said, Don, traffic was backed up from 223 at 5 o'clock.
And at noon too,
I'll close with, a couple Saturdays ago, I went to Susie Q's car wash. Saturday morning, nice and sunny. What do people do when I get their car washed? I go down, headed west to Susie Q's. Guess what's backed up? Their automated bay. 4 cars were there. The vehicle I pulled up behind was sitting in the left-hand turn lane, waiting to get in. So I pulled behind and I sat there. Traffic zoomed by and I thought, this is not working. So carefully went out and around and went in Samaritas and in to use the gun it off car wash. So if Susie Q's can create a backup, what's a drive-through at McDonald's going to do when it's 5 o'clock? And this business is going to be open from 6 in the morning until, if not earlier, till 11 o'clock at night. Little Caesars doesn't open till almost noon and they're closed by 9. Wendy's is further down the street. The congestion point is going to be right there. Thank you.
Hello, Mayor Heath, City of Adrian. And I don't usually speak on things like this, but I personally also drove the back of this property. I always like to go and see what is being proposed, how close it is. I was highly concerned at how close this is to houses, to residents. You know, Wendy's is near some residences, but it's got a good distance between it. It's kind of got that marsh in between it. This is literally going to be on top of a couple houses. And I am also highly concerned with the lighting, with the noise. How much can that fence really block out? It's just concerning that it is so close to those houses. I realize what it's zoned for. I do understand that, obviously, but I'm concerned. Another concern of mine, and maybe it's because I used to live in the city of Chicago, but I am very concerned about rats. And it has always been a concern of mine. Being near a restaurant, I had a restaurant come in behind my house in Chicago, and I had rats in my house within about a month. I do worry about that. I know you can have those enclosures, but when you have houses that close to a restaurant or anything like that, even when it's contained, it does exasperate that problem a little bit more. My biggest concern is the traffic. I live nearby as well. I don't live right there, right next to it, but I do live in that area. I have to take that. I never turn left or go straight out of Country Market at Maumee and Maple because you will never get out. You always must go down by Ace Hardware and come out that way because that is a nightmare in itself. Then the backing up of 223. I've also seen what Mr. Alshouse has seen with Suzy Q's being very backed up. And I know, yes, this is not anybody's fault, but a lot of people do it. If they are going east on Maumee, a lot of people are trying to get over in that left-hand turn lane to turn onto Maple way ahead, and it's going to be where that entry point is into that McDonald's. And I'm just very concerned about accidents there because it is already a disaster of intersections and not the intersection disaster is Maple and Maumee, but of just so many drives and so much traffic coming in and out. I mean, it is probably worse right now because of the Wolf Creek Bridge being out and we're seeing more traffic in general, but it doesn't matter what time of year, how many years it's been that I've lived in that area. There is always a backup going to 223, and that Country Market exit with Little Caesars with Maple and Maumee has always been bad from the get-go. So I just have a lot of safety concerns, just a lot of safety, but also just,
You have for me to cut the mayor off?
Yes.
Your 3 minutes is up.
there you go. Thanks. Thank you.
Good evening, Commission. My name is Ellie Sager, and I'm a resident of 410 Meadowbrook Drive. So this proposed drive-through will kind of be right in my realm of area. This is the first time we've heard of it. So are these plans available for residents like myself to review online?
No, they're not.
Okay.
No.
Um,
In fact, all we have are these printed copies.
Okay, thank you. My second question though is in regards to security, and maybe that's addressed in these plans. I have young children. There's a lot of neighbors around us that also have young children. So I'm curious what kind of security plans, along with the proposed opaque fence, are involved in these plans to make sure we're protected as residents.
Go ahead.
My name's Jill Bakewell. I live at 1501 Canterbury Street in Adrian. Couple of things I looked up today was the population of Adrian is a little over 20,000 people. I don't know how Adrian thinks it can support 3 McDonald's. I looked up, what population is needed to support 3 McDonald's, and it said between 15 and 30,000 people. But that's in a high tourist area, an upper income area, which Adrian is not. And I'm totally against this. I think it's just ridiculous to put a McDonald's. We don't need 3 in the first place. Main Street is a thoroughfare. So I can see one on South Main, I can see one on North Main, but West Maumee Street, I just think it's ridiculous. Thank you.
Mr. Berg.
Jerry Berg, 435 Meadowbrook. There are 4 properties in my subdivision that would be affected directly by the McDonald's on Maumee. All of the property lines would be up against that. Those property values will go down significantly. I'm not quite there, but there are 4 other properties that are within a close range. All of our property values will go down with a McDonald's in our backyard. Secondly, traffic is unbelievable. That's been said repeatedly, and you're going to add 1,000 cars a day. I get that number because I go to McDonald's South Main, and my ticket number says at noon says 1361, almost 1350 to 1370. That means that's how many cars have gone through that drive-through. So, okay, if this one is successful, 1,000 cars in a day, turning onto Maumee, you're asking for a nightmare because there's so much traffic there already. It's poorly designed to begin with, and now we're going to have more. Secondly, I'm not happy with the noise abatement with that many cars going from 6 a.m. until 11 p.m. The noise is going to destroy our neighborhood. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Sir.
Randy Palmer. I own 1546 right next to it. And I just want to understand the site plan. So on our west property line, and I'm trying to understand your legend on your site plan, it looks like they're going to literally cut into our property and take some of that sidewalk out. I just want to understand if that's what's really happening.
You know, I am not in a position to directly address that.
Okay.
I'm not an engineer or a surveyor.
So is there,
But I have to believe that this property has been surveyed
it has.
and that the developer knows where the property line is.
Right. But your legend on the site plan, or their legend on the site plan, shows a part of the sidewalk that is on our property with little black boxes, which means saw cut. Does that not mean they're going to take that out?
I guess I'm not quite clear on what the issue is.
Well, the issue is are they going to come over onto our property and try to take some of the sidewalk that's existing right there out?
We'll try to find out.
I appreciate that. And I want to make sure that going from the north line south, that there is a fence on that line, on that property line coming through the property. Is that correct? I know you have the opaque fence on the back, but is there one running up? What is it? The west from north to south?
West side of your property, east side of.
West side of ours, east side of theirs.
Oh.
So that the traffic can't come around ours, you know, and around our Victorian, which is awesome,
Mhm.
And over onto Maple. And I just don't know, has that been said? Is there a fence going there?
We'll look into that.
There has to be. There absolutely has to be. You cannot allow that traffic to run through over behind that Victorian and over onto Maple. You just can't do it. The biggest thing that I hope you guys look at is this traffic pattern is absolutely horrid. Everybody's already said it. I don't know what you're going to do about it, but it is bad. I mean, you can hardly pull out of there right now from Maple onto Maumee. You just can't do it. So those are my concerns.
Thank you.
I guess the other thing is there sidewalks proposed? So across Maumee, there's sidewalks all along there. Country Market, you know, Miller's, over to Susie Q's, all that. There's none on this other side.
Well, there aren't sidewalks on that other side.
Not on our side.
They're not there. I believe there's none in front of your building.
No,
No, exactly. Let's stop about.
they like stop at Westco. And I don't even know if there's one in front of Little Caesars.
No, after the community foundation, Little Caesars does not have a sidewalk.
Yeah, so there's none there. I mean, so when this increased traffic and you have people walking now to go to McDonald's, which obviously is not very well accepted right now. I think you need to, you need to think about sidewalks. Are there going to be sidewalks, and who's going to be responsible for that?
Well, if McDonald's puts in sidewalks, they're responsible to maintain them,
Okay.
unless the city has changed that.
No,
No.
that's still good.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Sue All's house, Canterbury Street. The only thing, the one thing that I haven't heard tonight in this discussion is we are not aware of what the college is doing with the old hotel. And so then that, I know that's not right by the McDonald's, but that's just even more, if that becomes an entrance off of Maumee into the college, it's just more congestion along there. And I know that this is a state road, right, Maumee? And this would go even beyond nothing we can do here tonight, but there is a concern of we residents about all of the, like, as Tim said, the 32, 34, whatever entrances in and out. It's really a concern for safety along there. And I just, do we know, does anyone know, has the college proposed anything for that yet? Okay, just something to keep in mind. Thank you.
Hi, Jenny Engel, 420 Meadowbrook Drive. I'm not going to say anything that somebody here hasn't said, but I just want to confirm that the traffic is a huge issue. The noise is a huge issue. Little Caesars is in my backyard. If you've ever ordered pizza there, I've heard it. So I do also worry about our property value will be right in the backyard. So I just wanted to share my concerns as well. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Jane Castle, I don't live in Rolling Meadows. I live in Trenton Hills, and I'm concerned about the increase in trash, which we know is going to happen. Again, with the traffic is bad. And those are two main concerns that I have. And the fact that I don't think our population has grown enough to support 3 McDonald's. We've seen what's happened with the number of Dollar Generals that we have. Now, are we going to do the same thing with McDonald's?
Anyone else? We will close the public comment portion of this particular matter. Mr. Black, did we receive any written or phone comments on this particular issue?
No, we did not.
Okay. Commissioners? Discussion?
I'd like to, I don't know when this traffic study was done, but ever since our friends at the Lenawee Community Foundation, rightfully so, probably closed off the street that they had that went from Maumee to Maple, Maple to Maumee. We've created an even bigger nightmare at the intersection by Country Market.
Yes.
So much so that I've been thinking about saying to the city, let's ask MDOT to do a traffic study there and a traffic light study there. We got a traffic light for Lincoln School. Yeah, after years and years and years of complaining, and that really helped a lot, I think. I mean, it's don't get me wrong, I like hamburgers and French fries and milkshakes, but I mean, I'm really concerned about the safety issue here. I really am. I'm just saying that as a commissioner, and I'm also saying it as a homeowner in that neighborhood, but I'm not quite directly impacted, but according to Mr. Berg, my values are going to go down the tube. But I think we need to back up a little bit and see what MDOT thinks about all this. And I don't know when they did the traffic study. So I don't know.
It was last fall.
Last fall. Last fall.
Yep.
I agree. I think that just listening, we have a lot of questions that are not clear. I'm concerned about the easement question
Well,
and the sidewalk questions, which seems unclear, even to us. And I am concerned about the traffic. Don, I have witnessed those backups that go all the way to 220. In fact, I've been very surprised at them, that they go all the way to 223. And I think that those backups happen during peak times. It's got to be like in the mornings when people would want to be going to McDonald's, or at lunch when people would want to be going to McDonald's. We've had, concern expressed about the closest to neighbors and how we are protecting the neighbors in view of the lighting, in view of the sound, in view of the privacy. And I don't think we have really good answers to that. Someone brought up security also, and I don't know exactly what our place is in
Not so much,
asking
yeah.
questions about that. But nonetheless, it is in the back of our minds, I think. So I'm not real comfortable, I guess, going forward. It's just what I think.
Commissioner Zeiss?
I want to thank everyone for coming out and expressing your concerns. I think they're all very valid. I am not super thrilled at the idea of more traffic being out that way. I share those concerns with people, and also I wouldn't want, light in my backyard until 11 p.m. either, or longer. So I mean, I'm kind of with Commissioner Weatherby on this one. I'm not really comfortable moving forward at this time without further studies from MDOT and the specifics of that. I don't have that in front of me. So I'd like to see that specifically before we move forward with this.
Commissioner Love?
sore tooth.
I have a lot of things. I have a lot of brain cells firing right now.
Oh.
I struggle with and there's no blame to point that I don't feel like we had enough information presented soon enough to us to make that decision. Seeing this site plan for the first time tonight, getting here is a big problem for me, especially for where this is and what that affects. And so I don't feel comfortable voting at all, having not been able to spend days looking at what that does. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we usually get them days in advance, and I spend those times of looking. I like pictures, I like words, and looking at them and comparing them. I mean, you see me up here flashing through my phone. I'm going between maps and trying to picture how that's going to look, and I'm still trying to figure it out. And then it does affect just so much. McDonald's is a very busy place that brings a lot of traffic and a lot of types of people, and that is a lot of people to be affected that didn't think they were ever going to be affected by that. And so I think that decision, I'm not prepared to make tonight.
I share all the comments that each of the commissioners has made. I share the same concerns. Actually, in my mind, the big question is, are there circumstances, for example, if we were to see a detailed MDOT review of the traffic patterns, is there additional information that would sway your decisions? Is where I'm going with this.
Oh, for me, the big one's going to be traffic. I'm not going to lie, because part of being abutted, and this is going to sound awful, and the rules are the rules of it is abutted to now a B2 business district.
It is a B2 district.
Right. And so we have things in there to try to protect adjacent properties, residential, whatever they are, with our zoning. And this does meet certain parts of it, but also the X factor for me is that traffic component, especially since that drive was taken away by the community foundation. And right now the big construction project I've taken a different route to work, and I live less than a half mile from where I work because Maple Street is so busy right now. So, I mean, those are all things that really, for me, traffic is the big component that's missing here. And I'd love to see the study that was done last fall.
May I suggest then, based on both the neighbors' comments and comments from the commission, that we table this with the, and on one hand, I don't want to just kick the can down the road, so to speak.
No, but I also want to hear Commissioner Johnson's point of view from the site plan review.
Okay.
Because he is very averse to site plans.
Adverse or not?
No, not averse. That's a horrible word. He's very knowledgeable to site plans. With his construction, and he provides a lot of valuable insights that I like to hear.
I think, going back to the light at, Scott Street, I think if you ask the city, they approached MDOT several times about that, and they kept getting pushback, and they kept pushing, and they finally agreed to do it. And so, I don't think we need to say that if they turn us down the first time, and I mean, I think we need to see their study. But I mean, that intersection's a mess. I don't know how else to describe it. Well,
Based on this
There's no
discussion,
room to do a roundabout there, I don't think.
based on this
idea.
discussion, Mr. Taylor,
Yes, sir.
based on this discussion, I would entertain a motion to table this matter, pending, both the, return of Commissioner Johnson and his expertise and our ability to review the MDOT report on this.
So moved.
Support.
We have a motion.
We also get a copy of the site plan in some way, whether
Yes, you got it late this afternoon. It was emailed to you just before the meeting started.
okay.
Oh, was.
I was in another
that-
meeting, that's why I didn't get it. Yeah.
The issue is we normally have the site plan in a reduced scale, and, a week ahead of time, and we can take our our magnifying glasses and look at everything we want to see. In this case, it wasn't provided by the engineers until today, I guess, so.
Okay, we have a motion and support to table this. If we could have a roll call vote.
Commissioner Zach,
Yes.
Commissioner Love,
Yes.
and then Commissioner Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Weatherby,
Support.
Commissioner DuBois.
Yes, support. So this item is tabled pending some additional information for us to consider. Next item on our agenda is an application for adaptive reuse at 401 and 415 Tecumseh Street. Is there someone here to speak to that?
Three of us.
Well, just one at a time. How's that? If
You want the owner? Or the-
sir, if you'd give us your name,
Adam Keller.
Adam Keller?
Yep.
Okay.
I do not live in the city. I'm the realtor that has the listing for this property.
Okay, is the person who's applying for the adaptive?
Yes, the owner is here with me, Austin Renard.
Okay, probably that's who we need to hear from.
Okay.
How's it going? Austin Renard. Yeah, I own that property. We've tried to get this rezoned for, since,
B2.
yeah, B2 since October.
What we have before us is not an application for rezoning. It's an
Okay.
application for adaptive reuse, which is special permission for properties that are, functionally obsolete,
Yeah.
to be used for something that would not normally be permitted there. So based on that, if you would tell us very briefly what it is being proposed for this property.
So I'm currently not in that property. He's trying to sell it for me. So it'd probably be better for you to talk to him about these things, honestly.
So,
Okay.
The gentleman buying.
so Jeff is trying to purchase the property and he's trying to get the
Adaptive reuse.
yes. So
Okay.
maybe you should talk to him.
Yes, because what who we want to hear from is the person who's going to be using the property.
Okay. Originally, it was changed to B1. We were trying to get it back to B2 because we wanted to get automotive use. Anyways, that's out the window. So we need to talk to Jeff apparently, right? Okay.
Okay, we're gonna go for number 3 here.
I'm Jeff Hensley. I own a property over on Church Street, but I reside in Blissfield, Michigan. I am prepared to make an offer on that property contingent on it being okay for me with a variant to reside in the building. I would make minor, modest changes to create an apartment in there. And without that, I mean, I couldn't go forward making an offer if I was going to do something that would go against any city law or plan or something that would violate the fire code or anything like that. So I'm asking for a reuse variant.
Mr. Hensley, I understand that in addition to, based on the application, that in addition to living there, it would be your intention to store vehicles there as well,
Yes, sir.
all inside?
Well, that remains to be seen. Going forward, I may want to be parking them out there in that large compound, which is fenced in.
These would all be operational vehicles, functional. They're
Recreational vehicles, yes, sir.
My point, where we wouldn't want to be is if there are broken down cars or old tires and mufflers.
I understand.
It would have to be things that run.
It wouldn't be an unfunctional vehicle.
That's what I was trying to do.
Okay.
Commissioners, questions for Mr. Hensley?
How many recreational vehicles, you say it's future down the line, but what does that look like? Is it commercial gain? Is it a lot stacking them in? Like, what do you see about how many would be there?
At this point in time, I have no idea.
Personal recreational vehicles, or would it be like a business venture to store other people's?
If people would like to store their recreational vehicle or their boat there, I could receive rent from them going forward. But my primary goal is to get me and my recreational vehicle stored inside where it won't be. I've been storing it over at Blissfield Manufacturing Building, and Mr. Goddard has decided that, we're moving closer to a sale and I needed to get out of there. And to afford this building, I'll have to sell my own property in Blissfield, and I need a place to live, and I'd like to go forward with that.
Could see us approving your request if we could be assured that it was you living there.
Yes, sir.
And that the vehicles stored there were your own personal property. I can't speak for the entire commission, but I couldn't see us approving this if it's going to end up being a commercial vehicle storage lot.
That's not my goal. That's an option that I thought was available, but if it is not, I just want to live there and keep my stuff safe.
There's a note you make that you hope to pass this property on.
To my son.
Yeah, to as an automobile mechanic and provide a business opportunity for him.
Yes.
But then are you saying that in the future it might be a shop where cars would be worked on?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions for the applicant? Thank you, Mr. Hanson.
Thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address the planning commission on this particular matter? I presume we did not receive any written or phone comments on this particular. I have to say, I'm a little nervous with this without it being a little bit more specific as to what the plans are for it, but.
My question is, if we allow the adaptive reuse under the conditions of he's putting a personal residence in with personal recreational vehicle storage, does that in the future open that up to an automotive shop? Or is it close to this and that would be a future?
That's the, and there is the question.
That's my question.
That is the question.
What are we opening this for? Is
Yeah.
it adaptive reuse as they constantly get to adaptively use it, or is it just for this one makeover? That's my question for you or Mr. Black is, what is this?
It depends. Whatever, adaptive reuse is very flexible. I mean,
Okay.
we can say,
Because like in zoning, when we change the zone, it opens up to anything within that.
exactly, but adaptive reuse is specific.
Okay.
And we can specify it, or we can deny it.
Okay.
This is a similar,
As a personal use property, I don't have much issue.
I would agree. I agree.
It's when we get beyond that.
Where it be a commercial operation.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, but if you look at the application, it indicates proposed request warehouse/auto repair. So that's down the road. I understand that, but.
This is a property that has sat fallow for a long time. It would be nice to see it put to use. This is not entirely dissimilar to what we approved a couple of years ago with what had been the Firestone garage, Lenawee Tire, excuse me, on the corner
Lenawee Tire,
of Gulf and
yep.
East Maumee Street, is it?
UD, yeah.
But of course, that fellow who proposed that he lived there, and I think he does now, it was that in an art studio, which is a lot less intensive than a repair garage. I would be supportive of this if it was limited to
Warehouse.
residential, Mr. Henley's residence and storage of his own personal vehicles.
Yes. That's where I would agree.
I would too.
If that's the case, we would entertain a motion to approve the adaptive reuse application for this property with the stipulation that it be limited to use as a single family residence with storage of personal vehicles.
The owner's personal vehicle.
Owner's personal
Right.
vehicles, yes.
And the owner would live in the residence.
Yes.
Does that?
Does that work for you, Mr. Henley?
Sure.
Please do, yes,
My only concern is if I'm limited to only my vehicles and living there, it diminishes the value of the property going forward. You all would be opposed to a motorhome or a boat being stored outside in the parking lot, or going forward even further at my passing, Lady Bird deeding it to my son for a mechanical shop?
Yes.
There'd be difficulty in that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
At this point, now, in the future, as the city evolves and changes, those can always be reapplied for the possibility of.
That doesn't foreclose it forever, doesn't prohibit you.
It doesn't shut the door completely.
No,
Exactly.
it's always able to be reapplied for
Okay.
for those types of uses.
All right.
But as of what we're trying to accomplish as a planning commission with what we're trying to do, what we can agree upon would be for personal use only.
Okay.
Does that work for you at this time?
At this time, yes, it does.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Outside also. In the yard.
Yes. Just like we would if it was a residence. Yeah.
So moved for Mr. Jacobitz.
Okay, we have a motion.
Support.
We have motions and support for approval of adaptive reuse for 401, 415 Tecumseh Street with the stipulation that it be used as a private single-family residence and for the storage of the owner's personal vehicles. Any questions on the motion? Mr. Black, if you would mind calling the roll.
Commissioner Zeit,
Yes.
Mr. Love,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Weatherby,
Support.
Commissioner Jacobitz.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Next item on our agenda under old business is a consideration of a number of recommendations with ordinance amendments and updates to the 2025 zoning ordinance. Commissioners, I hope you've had a chance to look at those. Are there questions or discussions of that? I had sent this out to you some time ago, so you should have had some time to look.
I'm just looking for my yellow marks here to make sure.
Okay. And this, of course, would be in the form of a recommendation to the city commission.
I just have to say, I appreciate your effort on using all of our feedback and making this work.
Yes.
Well, and as we mentioned to the mayor and commissioners back in, well, probably back in the spring, this was somewhat inevitable that there were going to be corrections and updates to this. And there'll probably be some in the future too, but the reason we've consolidated them is we didn't want to piecemeal it and be sending them one little snippet at a time. So, commissioners, is there any of these that need to be discussed, do you think, or are we okay with it as presented? It is as we discussed, so.
Yes.
Okay. With that said, is there any comment on this portion of the agenda? There is none, then we would entertain a motion. In fact, I think, do we have a resolution here? Daniel?
Mhm.
Entertain a motion for, to adopt the resolution that staff has presented.
So move.
Support.
We have a motion and support. There's no additional discussion, a roll call vote.
Commissioner Zeit,
Yes.
Commissioner Love,
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Weatherby. Support. Commissioner Jacobs.
Yes. Okay, we will forward that to the commission. Lastly, we have a couple of discussion items for future items. One, Dan, do you want to talk about the Veronica Market? Just, so you know, the Veronica Market is on far east Maumee Street, like almost on the corner of Gulf.
It's Dean, or, yeah,
Gulf.
Golf and Beecher.
Yeah.
Right on the corner, there's a pink, little grocery store there. The owner of that grocery store approached me, a couple months ago, I believe in January, with interest. He's for years wanted to expand. However, he cannot expand on that property because he's non-conforming. That property is zoned I-1, as are all the other properties along the north side of Beecher from Treat to Gulf. So he's limited. He can't expand. His business is growing. He wants to expand, and he has interest in buying the vacant car lot and vacant lot next to on the corner of Treat and Beecher. It'd be the northeast corner of Treat and Beecher. There is a old car lot that's closed down and a vacant lot between that and Oliver, right there. There again, not the right zoning. It's I-1. And there was discussion between Commissioner Jacobitz and I and our community development director regarding wouldn't it make sense, because those properties through there do, for the most part, lend themselves more to a B2 use. They're sparing one. There is one in there. There's a pet cremation business in the middle of that block that is more of an industrial use than business or commercial. Wouldn't it make sense to consider a rezoning of that entire stretch from Gulf to Treat on the north side of Beecher?
From I-1 to
From
B2.
I-1 to B2. And it would certainly make that
Allow him to make that
yeah,
expansion.
that property more marketable for commercial purposes.
And the only downside to that is it would end up creating the pet cremation place as a,
One non-conforming.
yeah, as a pre-existing non-conforming. But again, this is not for any action tonight or even
Yeah.
in detail, but I just wanted to make you
Just for
aware of it.
consideration.
And for your consideration, and if you have any suggestions as to how you'd prefer us to approach that, let us know. In Dan's and my discussion, the thinking was that that entire north side of the block and the north side would make sense to be zoned as B2 rather than I-1. So something for the future.
And rather than look at another location, he wants to remain in that section of the east side.
Right.
It does.
Which is a good thing to have a market in that.
It
section,
sure
right?
is.
The grocery store
Yeah.
in that section of town, so I think.
And
trying
I should add that beyond just a grocery store, he would like to put some sort of a small taqueria within the grocery store where you could buy tacos and so forth, which I think everyone agrees tacos are great.
Yep. Amen.
Amen.
Also on our future discussion is our review of an update of the comprehensive land use plan and map. And we've discussed that a couple times. We've actually worked on it a couple times. My suggestion at this point is, since I believe that the city is about to contract with a planning firm to provide planning services, is that we put that on hold until they are on board and we have professional expertise to guide us in that regard.
I mean, rather than hiring a staff person, you're talking about hiring a firm to be our planning and zoning administrators.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Yep. And my understanding is that is close to being consummated. So.
Good idea. I agree.
Okay. Is there any other business to come before the planning commission?
Does that include us?
If you'd like, if this is the time for public
Public
comment.
comment.
No, I want to revisit the McDonald's thing real quick. You guys, so what you're going to do is you're going to request an MDOT study, right? Are we going to be notified and make sure that we're notified? Is there going to be another meeting on this?
Oh, we have not done, we can only approve this at a public meeting.
Okay, okay,
And we have not approved it.
okay. So the other thing is
Question?
well, kind of.
Okay.
So the other reason is there's a fence going on the north line, and that's because there's a residence. There is not a proposed fence. I just found out.
I've got a note.
Huh?
You asked that question earlier and I've got a note to that effect.
Yeah, this isn't a question.
Okay.
There is not a proposed fence going north to south. We just found that out. Okay.
On the east side.
1546 is a residence. So should there not be a fence there? Can you look at this when you're reviewing your plan? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Because that is still a residence. You know, and so what we've been told is the only proposed right now is to put parking blocks or those cement blocks across that parking lot. Well, if somebody can drive over that or whatever, but this is still a residence. 1546 is still a residence. So I would like you to look at that in your site plan.
Thank you.
And see.
Anyone else?
Just as we're talking about those very close Lowry's right across the street. You've got some other things in that area. So as you look at that,
And I don't know, just it makes sense, even in my mind, as you look ahead to possibly rezone that area as well. And just because of things that are in a very close proximity to it that are similar. It's not going to be exactly the same, but they are very similar in nature. And thank you for making everything in red and very easy to read on the zoning, on the changes. And is that what you're going to be sending the city commission, exactly what was in the packet?
Can be if that's what you want.
I think it's very easy. I think that would be the best way to. But that was very easy to read and very easy to understand. And I just think it will help everybody know what's happening, because I thought it was very clear in the packet, and I do appreciate that.
Then we will send it in that manner.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Commissioners, Tim Alshouse, Adrian. When I was looking up this, I noticed in your packet, rather lengthy, you talked about your zoning changes that you just talked about.
Mhm.
You clarified greatly hoop houses, how high they can be, where they can be built. Just made me reflect back on the dome. And Mike, I know you're shaking your head, and I don't want to sound like sour grapes. Same comments that were made, with all due respect to the Bergs. Devaluation of properties, noise, and light. Same things we brought. Problem being, tonight you had multiple comments. This meeting was on your regularly scheduled night. It was addressed. The meeting for that dome was on a special midweek, mid-month meeting. It lasted 17 minutes. There's no recording of it, but from your minutes. Transparency. When people know about things, they show up, they talk about it, and you do a great job of listening to us. You spent 40 minutes talking about the McDonald's tonight, 17 minutes talking about that dome a year and a half ago. And we brought the same concerns. It is what it is, and we've learned to adjust, but there's noise from that dome, music. Neighbors have called multiple times to campus security and the Adrian Police Department. You can hear it. I live 400 feet from that dome. You can sound like it's in my house. So anyway, thank you for listening. It's a little too late. Hopefully I don't sound like sour grapes, but it's the same issues. and you took the action I think that was correct tonight to table and get more information. That didn't happen in our case for the dome. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Sorry, Jackie Palmer again. I'm just concerned on the zoning. Is the zoning always happen the way you guys, I just watched you discuss, is there planning that goes involved in it? Because I'm just concerned that this area where the proposed McDonald's is now a B2.
Yes.
And it was a B1, and I have a business there and a residence and a historic home on that property. And it is not being taken into consideration, and it has turned into a B2, and I was not notified of this. But we were notified of this. We got a mailing saying, hey, this is going to happen. Did all of you get a mailing? Because it affects us directly. This affects me directly. How did I not know this?
The rezoning was for the entire city. It was notified in the paper. It was notified on the city website. And since it wasn't your property specifically that was being changed, it was citywide.
No, it was.
No.
This is a B1. I have it from the city it's even time stamped and dated that I got this.
Since your property was not singled out, it wasn't just your property that was being rezoned. It was the entire city. Postcards didn't go out to the entire city. We relied on, and by law, we relied on public announcements, newspaper ads. And we had 3 open houses here explaining all of them that were well publicized.
So this rezoning
There was an article in the Lenawee Voice about it. There was an article in the Telegram about it.
well, then shame on me. But this rezoning took place after this property was purchased. So you knew what the property was going to be used for ahead of time. Somebody did for the rezoning purposes. You had to have an idea of what was going to go in there to rezone this to a B2, because there's no reason for all of those offices in that area with the congestion to turn to a B2. It doesn't hold it. It's not substantial enough. Thank you. Thank you.
James?
Hi, James Troll, City of Adrian. You talk about zoning. We got a data center going in over there in Saline. We got solars all over the place. Go through your ordinances. Do we have anything in there on those? Do we have any ordinances about putting up solar fields or data centers?
And no, but it's not because it hasn't been discussed.
Mhm.
As you will note, all of those are in huge open fields,
Mhm.
of which we don't have any.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of empty factories though. You level a factory, turn brownfield into a solar field before you know it. Just saying.
Mhm.
Something to think about. And as for McDonald's, I don't go there very often, but we had Aubrey shut down recently. We had Wendy's shut down. McDonald's over in Clinton shut down. I think I know we've tabled that, before you really look into something like that, you got to look at your businesses that are closing down.
We usually try to avoid making a judgment as to the viability of a business.
Mhm.
You know, because that's not necessarily our place to do.
Those are market decisions.
Yeah.
Right.
But your point is well taken.
Well, I'm just saying, as a resident, you start looking at somebody builds a building, then it sits there empty.
Mhm. Yep.
I got a building sitting right down the road from my house, been empty for 10 years. That somebody's trying to sell as potential, turning into apartments. But yet city went through and said that it was condemned. I'm tired of looking at the stuff that's just sitting around. We've got other buildings that are just sitting around. All I'm saying is, I know you have to look at things in one aspect, but sometimes you got to look at it as what other people look at. And I feel for any of the residents. I drive, and I can tell you right now, 5 minutes to 15 minutes. That's what it takes to get onto 223 on Maumee. Doesn't matter what time of the day, because all it takes is a string of cars or trucks going down 223 and you're sitting and waiting. And I'm not talking about just right there in that by Wendy's. You're going clear back almost by Wesco, if not further. Traffic, yes, they're right. That's a big problem. Property values. I wouldn't want to be near anything that's gonna make my property value go down any more than what it already has. You know, it's our investments. You guys have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Anyone else? We would entertain a motion to adjourn. Friends?
So moved.
So moved. Okay, is there support?
Support.
All those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you all.